Hey everyone, welcome to Buffett Stories, your go-to channel for inspiring stories, lessons, and success secrets from the legendary investor Warren Buffett. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our new videos, dropping every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. You can also catch Buffett Stories on your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Thanks for joining us, and let's dive into today's exciting topic. Dear you, isn't it strange? Some people spend their whole lives trying to stand out, but the ones who quietly protect their value, they're the ones who end up truly free. You see it in the market, you see it in careers, you even see it in love. The paradox is this: those who chase attention often lose it, but those who build a moat, they become unshakable. In 2008, as the world panicked, Warren Buffett made a quiet $5 billion bet on Goldman Sachs, not because it was trendy, not because it was loud, but because it had a moat, a deep one. Years later, he'd earn over $3 billion on that one bet alone. But here's the real question. What if the concept of a moat wasn't just for companies? What if you need a moat? Not flashy skills, not a bigger resume, but something deeper, defensible, rare, quietly compounding. Over the next few minutes, I want to tell you a story. Not about stocks, but about building a life that can't be easily invaded. A life with a moat. Warren Buffett once said, "In business, I look for economic castles protected by unbreachable moats." He wasn't looking for castles made of gold. He was looking for the moat. That invisible line between a company and its competitors. A system, a habit, a loyalty that couldn't be copied overnight. Coca-Cola has it. Apple has it. See's Candies, a tiny Berkshire holding, has it too. But here's the twist. The modern world doesn't teach us to build moats. It teaches us to build stages. We post more, we apply more, we hustle more. But when everyone is trying to be seen, no one is being defended. Pause for a second and think. When was the last time you strengthened your own moat? Not your social following, not your salary, but your quiet edge, the thing that protects you when the market shifts, when the algorithm changes, when the noise gets louder than your name. In Buffett's world, a moat might be a brand people trust blindly, a cost structure no one else can match, a habit loop that keeps customers coming back without thinking. In your world, it might be a rare combination of skills, a personal integrity no one else matches, a calmness under pressure that makes others lean in. The paradox is this: the more uncopyable your moat, the less you need to compete. Why do we chase instead of build? Why do we scroll instead of sharpen? Because psychology has a moat too, and most of us never dig one. There's a concept in behavioral science called FOMO, the fear of missing out. But Buffett and Munger live by its opposite, JOMO, the joy of missing out. They've passed on thousands of deals. Buffett skipped the dot-com bubble, ignored Bitcoin, and waited decades before buying tech. Not out of ignorance, but out of clarity. That clarity? It came from a psychological moat, a mental model so deep, so personal, that noise couldn't penetrate it. You and I? We're flooded with comparisons, LinkedIn updates, Instagram stories, startup exits, AI trends, crypto winters. Every scroll whispers, "You're late." Every click says, "You should be doing more." But Buffett's inner voice whispers something different. You don't have to swing at every pitch, you just have to wait for the right one. The truth is, building a moat is boring at first. It means saying no more than you say yes. It means mastering your temperament before your tools. It means going deeper on fewer things, while the world goes wide on everything. Psychologists call this delayed gratification. Buffett calls it rational patience. I call it peace. Pause and reflect. If someone couldn't see your resume, your profile, your network, what would still make you rare? That's your moat. Let's step into the room where Buffett decides. No noise, no dashboard full of trends, just a yellow legal pad, a pen, and decades of discipline. There's a reason Buffett passed on Google, passed on Amazon, passed on almost every tech company for 40 years. Was he blind? Number. He just knew his circle of competence and refused to stretch it for applause. But then, in 2016, something shifted. He said yes to Apple, not because it was popular, but because, for the first time, a tech company felt like Coca-Cola. Repeat users, sticky behavior, pricing power, brand obsession. It wasn't just a product, it was a habit. That's a moat. Buffett invested $36 billion. Today, it's worth well over $150 billion, the most profitable investment of his life. Now contrast that with the dot-com boom. In the late 1990s, Buffett was mocked. Every news anchor said he was too old and didn't get it. But as the bubble burst and fortunes evaporated, Berkshire stood untouched, surrounded by its deep moat. Munger once said, "It's not supposed to be easy. Anyone who finds it easy is stupid." And saying no is never easy. But every no to a distraction is a yes to your moat. Same with Coca-Cola. Buffett saw it in 1988, not because of soda, but because of mind share. Every fridge, every restaurant, every memory. That's not just a product, it's a position in the mind, the most valuable real estate on earth. Now think, what if your career could hold that kind of space? What if people thought of you first for a skill, a vibe, a promise? That's how moats are built, not overnight, not through noise, but through quiet, defensible consistency. So, how do you build a moat? Not in theory, not on paper, but in the quiet hours between noise. Let's make it real. If you're a student, your moat isn't GPA, it's curiosity. Can you go deeper into one topic than anyone else in the room? Can you connect history to design, biology to business, math to meaning? Buffett didn't become Buffett by being average at everything. He became Buffett by becoming a master at decision-making under uncertainty. That was his moat. If you're a creator, your moat isn't virality, it's voice. Something so true, so honest, that your audience trusts you through the quiet seasons. Like Buffett's shareholder letters. Simple, consistent, unflashy. But year after year, they compound in value, because they mean something. If you're a parent, your moat isn't perfection, it's presence. Buffett said the best gift his father gave him wasn't money, it was belief. The power of unconditional love, that is what I got from my dad. Your moat is how safe people feel around you, and that's uncopyable. If you're an entrepreneur, your moat isn't product, it's principle. Buffett avoided short-term trends. He built Berkshire Hathaway not on hacks, but on habits. He once said, "You build your reputation slowly, like building a cathedral brick by brick, but you can lose it in 5 minutes." So ask yourself, what part of your life are you building brick by brick? What edge are you sharpening when no one's watching? You don't need to be everywhere. You just need to be defended. Dear you, remember that first paradox? The people who try to be seen often fade, but the ones who quietly defend their edge become irreplaceable. That's not just business, that's life. The world will keep changing. Markets will rise. Trends will fall. Algorithms will shift. But moats stay. And now, the challenge is yours. This week, turn down the noise, log off the chase, and build one small brick of your moat. Read one hard chapter, Revisit one ignored craft. Practice one decision without applause. Then, write it down. This is part of my moat. Let it compound. Let it protect you. Let it free you. Because in the end, you don't need a spotlight. You need a castle and a moat that no one sees, but everyone feels. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Warren Buffett. If this spoke to you, share your moat in the comments, like, subscribe, and remember, the quiet life is often the most defensible one. That's a wrap for today's Buffett stories on Buffett's Moat. Boost your career. Did Warren Buffett's moat concept inspire you to strengthen your career? Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your network, and tell us in the comments how you'll build your own career moat. Subscribe and hit the bell for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. You can also find Buffett stories on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.